It's a discussion that comes up more often than not, from beginner hunters through intermediate to veteran. Whose process is better, and what results do you get at the end? Well, today I'm going to show you the easy process that I've adopted over time, and the special ingredient to get you this colour. Now, if you want it any brighter, like this fella over to my right, then feel free to go ahead and use some peroxide later on. Let me know what you reckon of the video in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. Cheers. Okay, step 1. Deflesh the skull and remove the jaw. Step 2, ideally you want to remove the brain. Once you get these on the boil, if you leave it in there, it ends up smelling rancid. So, easiest way, knock off the bottom of the skull, drop the brain out, get it on the boil. Otherwise, if you'd like to keep the whole skull intact, get yourself a bit of wire and a drill, pop the wire in the drill with a little hook on the end, pop it up inside, blend up all the brain and shake it out. Get the hose in there, hose it right out. I guarantee you'll want to do this. It stinks. As for me, I'm not a massive fan of the whole skull and teeth and the lot. I like to come down about an inch below where the pedicle meets the top of the skull and then make a straight line with a saw pretty much through the top of the skull, through the eyes, and then finish out just above the nose. Then I don't have to worry about all that crap underneath. Righto, so I've gone ahead and skull capped it. It's made the nasal cavity and the brain cavity very easy to tidy up now. It's the same process for cooking up. It's a little bit quicker as it's a bit easier to clean out. You don't have as much material to cook out of the skull. It's one of the reasons why I prefer this method, but it is still the same process. You want to start by choosing a pot that's deep enough so that the coronets, the base of the antlers, just sit below the rim. This will allow you to adjust your water level right up to the bottom of the coronets so you can remove any unwanted flesh or sinew from the pedicles. Just before your water is ready to start boiling, add the secret ingredient, nappy sand, or in this case, dye sand. Just sprinkle about a capful in and get the water on a calm boil. You may notice that the flesh and sinew releases itself from the skull a lot quicker than if you've just used water on its own previously. This is due to enzymes in the nappy sand that help break down the proteins and fat that bind the flesh and the sinew together. Although it is faster to remove softened material from your Euro mount with a pressure washer, I've purposefully not used one in this video for demonstration purposes. You can see here as I'm removing the already loose material from the skull, just how wide it is after one capful. As I mentioned earlier, it's exactly the same boiling process with a full Euro. It's just a bit more work. At this stage where the flesh and sinew have begun to loosen, take a pressure washer and blast out the nasal cavity or fashion a hook out of a piece of wire to scrape it all out. Then when you're done, flush it out with a hose and repeat. You'll notice that after a short time the nappy sand will appear to disperse and your water level will drop. Just chuck in another capful of nappy sand and top up with water accordingly. Remember to take the skull out of the water at intervals over the boiling process to check the colour. You'll need to let it dry each time you check it to get an accurate reading, as it will be darker when it's wet. By now, it's a good idea to dump and refresh your water. The dirtier the water, the less the nappy sand will be concentrated on breaking down the proteins on the skull, as it will be trying to clean the water as well.
There we go, all done.
couple of hours in the pot with nappy sand. Can't go wrong. If you want it any brighter, just keep adding nappy sand, topping it up with water or ditcher water, fresh water. It does help. But yeah, so otherwise you can go and get some peroxide or something later on. But as I said, don't use bleach. It'll deteriorate the bone and make it fall apart. Righto, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.